Hello everyone. Today we are going to study the first part of the sixth unit, that is tunnel engineering. Okay. The second and third part will be the airport engineering, and third part will be the harbor engineering. So in this first part we are going to study about the tunnel. Okay. In the tunnels we are going to study the terminologies. Okay. Then we're going to study how the tunnel alignment is done, how tunnel alignment is been transferred into the underground. Okay. And different components in the tunnel engineering. So that is ventilation, that is removing of the debris. Okay. What are the processes that are being used? What are the technologies that are being used? So by which methods we are going to construct the tunnels? What are the shapes of the tunnels? We are going to study. So we'll start with what is tunnel actually. So before going into the tunnel transport engineering, so first, what is tunnel? Tunnel is a artificial passage. Okay. Okay, it is a passage provided, okay, to overcome an obstacle. Tunnel is an artificial passage which is provided to overcome the obstacles. Okay, it might be under the ground, underground. Okay, it might be under the stream, it might be under the hill or the mountain. These are all the obstructions. We can't uh, provide a road over these obstacles, right? If there is a hill or a mountain, okay, we can't construct a straight road on the mountains, right? So if we go through the mountains also, it takes a larger time. Okay, and the work or the construction process will be of larger period, and the transport period or the time duration to cover that area will be of higher. So the time is time utilization is more. So if you construct tunnels, it will be a straight road inside the tunnel, inside the mountains or the hills, by drilling a hole, right? So by that we are going to reduce the distance, we are going to reduce the time consumptions also. So for that purpose we are going to construct a tunnel, right? It is an engineering structure which is artificially made by the man. It is a road or a passage, okay, beneath the ground, bed stream, or below the hill or mountains, right? Means if there is, suppose there are river streams flowing and we want to construct a tunnel, we want to construct a passage of road. But if the river or the sea in which we are going to provide the road passage width, if the length between the two destinations, between that sea or between that river, is smaller, then we can go for bridge, right? We can go for bridge. If the length is very far, if the length is very more, right, then in that case it is good to go for tunnel, and it will be a safer part. It will be underground and it will be a safe. Okay, so that is what a tunnel is. Okay, so in what are the contents today we are going to study? What are the things we are going to study today? Okay, the first one is the terminologies. Terminologies means various uh, components. Various components have various specific names. So to understand various components, we have to understand the definition of those components or terminologies. Okay, that is terminology. Next is advantages of tunnels. How it is advantageous. Okay, how is the tunnel advantageous to us? Next is the size, shape of the tunnels. Okay, which are the different size and shapes of tunnels we can construct. and which size and which shape of tunnel is used for specific work, for which purpose it is been used. So we will understand all these three contents in today's lecture. First one is terminologies, right? First one is a tunnel, right? This is how your tunnel looks from the inside. This is actually a fully developed tunnel. Not in all the tunnels will be the same. It will fully ventilated and lighted. Okay, this is a representative for you to understand how the tunnel looks from the inside, right? A tunnel is an engineering structure artificially made gallery, passage, or roadway beneath the ground, under the stream, or the hill or mountain, right? That is called as tunnel. Next is open cut. Now what is this open cut? To understand what is open cut, consider there is a mountain like this, right? And you want to construct a road from here. So what you will do, if this is a hill, right? This is a hill, or if you want to construct a road here, so you can do one thing is you can cut this passage. Okay, you can cut this mountain, okay, this much part, okay, and you can pass the road here like this, right? So when you cut it and you see it, it looks like this, right? This is the how your road will pass, right? When you cut in between, okay, you are going to cut it. Open cut is there, right? You are going to cut it. When it is useful, when the amount of cutting is less, and the depth of and the height, okay, this height is less than 18 meters. Then only we go for open cuttings. When the height of the mountain or a hill is less than 18 meters and the width of the mountain is also small, in that case we can't go for tunnels because it becomes expensive for us. In that case we will go for open cuts. Okay, we are going to cut the mountain like this, right, in between, and we are going to provide a road here like this. Okay, so that is called as open cut. Okay, we'll see through the image how you will understand here, like, right? If you can see here, actually this was full of mountain like this, a hill, right? We with the help of the explosives and the excavators, slowly this portion was taken out, right, and the road was made. This is useful only in the case where the depth and the width of the mountain or the hill is very less than 18 meters. In that case you can go for the opt for the open cuts, right? You can go for the open cuts. If it is more than that, then it is advantageous to go for tunnels. Okay, so what is open cut? It is open to the sky passage excavated through the huge soil mass of obstacles. Okay, as I said, huge quantity of mass has been excavated because it is a mountain. So when you start excavating, it is full of mass of soil. So you have to excavate because we are going through the mountain, not just cutting the side of it. We are going to in the center or in some point we are going to cut it. So you have to cut the whole portion to provide a passage to it, right? For that purpose, a huge mass is excavated. Like hills, a run is required in a direction to connect the two roads or the two railways. To connect the two roads in between the mountains, this open cut is provided to connect a portion of it, right? Next, a bridge. A bridge is nothing but a elevated road or a railway line, okay, which is constructed over the obstacle. To overcome the obstacle, we are not going through it, we are going to provide above it. Okay, the structure which is provided above the obstacle to overcome that obstacle, okay, that structure is called as bridge. See here, in this case there is a river here, okay, right, there is a river. So to come to go from one place to the another place, right, we are going to construct, this is an obstacle for us. To overcome this obstacle, we are going to provide this bridge, right, to overcome the obstacle, right, that is called as bridge. It is an overground construction to cross over the obstacle safely without disturbing the natural ways below it. In the case of tunnels, what happens? We are obstructing, we are drilling a hole, so we are obstructing or we are disturbing the natural components. In this case, we are not going to touch or disturb the natural ways, okay, we are just constructing above it, and we are just allowing the natural ways to carry over its work, and we are going to construct a structure over it, okay, above. Below, it is called as tunnels. If you construct the above, it is called as bridge. Next is tunnel approach. Okay, tunnel approach is nothing but these are the open cuts on the both the sides of the tunnel. Before the start of the tunnel and before the end of the tunnel, consider this is your mountain, okay, and this is your road that is going to pass through it, and this is your, okay, this is your tunnel, right? So now what we're going to do is we are going to remove this part to start the tunnel from here. In this case also you are going to remove this part. Why? Because it is an excess part of the tunnel. We don't want to elongate our tunnel extra. How much we can cut it, we'll cut that portion and we'll start with the openings of the tunnels. So that cut portion that you're going to do, okay, that cut portion that you're going to do, and this entrance and the exit part of the tunnels, before the entry and before the after the exit, whatever the portion are there, you're going to approach. That approach is called as tunnel approach. You are approaching to the tunnel. The way on which you're going into the tunnel, the way or the passage through which you're going into the tunnel, that approach is called as tunnel approach. I will tell you the example once more. Now here you can see, right, this is a tunnel, right, and this is a passage. Before entrance, okay, this area, okay, before entrance, the approach area is called as tunnel approach, okay, it is called as tunnel approach. These open cuts on the both the sides of the tunnels, right, it is on the both the sides, it is on the opening side, starting side, and the end side on the other side, right. In this case, a very steep slopes, and these are to be very short, while these flat slopes hills will be of longer. What it is trying to say is, if it is very steep hill, then it will be, the distance will be less, right, distance will be less. But in the case of a flat slope, right, this will become your distance. To avoid the increase in the length of the tunnel, what we are going to do, we are going to cut the portion, some portion like this. So when you cut that portion, this area, now what happens, your tunnel will start from this point, right, and this point will be the end. So the area before it, this portion, will be called as approach, tunnel approach, because you are approaching to the tunnel and you have excavated some portions. Okay, this will be in the flatter hills where the length of the tunnel will be higher. To reduce the length, we are just excavating some part of the entrance and the exit portions, so that will reduce the length of the tunnels, and that excavated portion is called as tunnel approach. Okay, next is shaft. Now what is this shaft? If you see, there is an hill here, right, and you are providing a tunnel here like this. Okay, this is your tunnel, right? Now for various purposes, transportation of the machineries, for transportation of ventilations, for to have proper ventilations, to remove the soil materials from the uh, excavated tunneling. Okay, during the tunneling works, you have to excavate the soil, right? Once you excavate, you have to take out that soil, right? For that purpose, we have to have some openings provided, right? We have to provide openings up on the hill like this. A vertical or inclined openings are to be provided. Okay, these openings are nothing but shafts. What it is? It is a shaft. It is hollow opening like this in circular shape, right? We will show in the diagram here, right? Can you see this? Can you see this portion, right? The vertical portion, here it is vertical. This is our approach, tunnel approach, and this is a tunnel, right? And the vertical well or a gallery passage through which you can transport the machineries during the construction work of the tunnels. Okay, you can remove the soil debris from that openings, and this can be used for the natural ventilation of the tunnels. The poorest thing of the tunnels is that is their ventilations, because it is underground and there are no openings, that will cause a suffocation, because there is a less quantity of oxygen presence there. Due to that, there might be a problem of ventilations. For that purposes, the shafts are very important part. Okay, next is advantages. How is the tunnel advantages for us? Okay, first point, generally, as I said in the first part itself, the first slide itself, when the depth of the open cut is more than 18 meters, tunneling is economical, right? When the depth of, when you are doing an open cut and the depth of that cut is more than 18 meters, in that case you should not go for open cuts. You have to use tunneling, because it becomes economical, because you have to excavate lot of soil, then lot of soil mass has to be excavated, and hard rocks has to be excavated for a larger area, right? If you do the tunneling, right, if this is your hill portion, right, this much of soil is to be excavated only, right? If you are going for open cut, right, okay, you want a open cut, right? So this is what you have to cut. This portion is smaller than this portion, it is like this, right? The mountain is like this. So this cutting will require larger area of cutting has to be done, quantity will be more, so that becomes uneconomical, right? That becomes uneconomical. So only we are trying to go for tunneling in the case of the depth of open cuts are more than 18 meters, right? Next point, tunnels avoid distributing or interfering with the surface life and traffic during the construction. So when the construction of the tunnel is going on, okay, the surface life on the ground surface, whatever the traffic that is going on, whatever the works you want to carry out, you can carry out easily. There is no obstruction to it because we are underground working. So we are not obstructing the surface work, okay, the surface life during the construction time. Okay, that is an advantage. Otherwise, if you are constructing a road beside to a new existing road, what happens? It might cross sometimes. It might be crossing each other at some signal. It might be causing a junction. At that time, it becomes very complex because you have to stop the traffic. You have to stop the people from moving from one place to another place. You have to obstruct the movement, and you have to construct the road and then allow them. So this is all obstructions that are being faced during the surface constructions. When you are constructing tunnel, you are not obstructing the surface life. That is what it is trying to say. Next is for carrying out the public utility likes, okay, these tunnels can carry public utility services also. It can carry a water, gas, railway lines, roads across streams, mountains, okay, and tunnels may be cheaper than the bridges or open cuts, right? When you want to pass a gas line, pipelines, or you want to pass a water line channel from one point of the mountain to the other point of the mountain, so you need not uh, have a deep cut, or you have to do not have to move around the mountain and then provide these pipelines. Just drilling a small hole of required discharge, okay, through the mountains will help us to provide an access for the water supply or the gas lines to pass through the mountains. It becomes cheaper, right? Next is tunnels avoid dangerous open cut adjacent to the structures, right? Tunnels avoid dangerous open cuts adjacent to the structures. What happens if you construct a open cuts, okay, if you construct an open cuts, what happens? Due to the excavation process, the disturbance is there to the side structures. If, for an example, this is your mountain or the hilly area, on the sides there are structures here, right? There are structures here, right? There are structures. When you start excavating this passage of hill, during the excavation works, right, okay, and vibrations, or you might use sometimes use explosives, this might threaten or might cause danger to these structures. Because of the continuous vibrations and disturbance, this structure might become weak, okay, this structure might become weak. So that will not happen in the case of tunnels. That will not happen in the case of tunnels. Tunnels avoid traffic congestions and provide rapid transport facilities in the crowded cities. Okay, so when it is underground, there are no crossing of the line roads, or there are no junctions, there are no circles. So due to that, and you are trying to reduce the distance between the 2 points. So you are trying to reduce the congestions, and you are trying to reduce the time duration of the passengers moving from the one place to another place. So in this way, this tunnel is advantageous in the rapid transport facilities. Next is tunnel connects two terminal stations by its shortest route. As I said now, these tunnels will help to connect the 2 points for a shortest route, right? If you go around the mountain, it will take you around higher distance to be covered. If you go through the mountains, it will reduce the distance and it will bring you to the shortest route. Okay. So next is, tunnels permit easy gradients in the mountain terrains and thereby encourages high speed vehicles. If you have gone through the gone to the coastal areas, okay, while you are going to the coastal areas, that is it might be Goa, it might be Mangalore, right? On the coastal areas, when you're going from the various cities, you might have gone through the ghat sections, right? You have passed through the ghat sections. You might see these ghat sections are nothing but are the hilly areas, right? When you are coming from the higher level to the lower level, right? The coastal areas at a lower levels, and the central portion that if you see is at higher level. So when you're coming from the higher level to lower level, you have to cross these ghat sections or the mountainous regions, terrains, right? For that, you have to have a very exceptional gradients, very large hairpin bends, huge steep roads, right? For in that case, to overcome those all, we are just going to provide a shortest route through the mountains, a straight easy gradient routes. That is only possible in the case of tunnels. It's only possible in the case of tunnels. If tunnels are provided with the easy gradient, the cost of the hauling is decreased. What is hauling? Hauling is nothing but the vehicle capacity or the power that is required for a vehicle to move from one place to another place. Whatever energy is required to a vehicle to move on that road, okay, that is called hauling. Okay, that, because if the hauling increases, then the fuel consumption also increases, right? Fuel consumption increases means automatically your cost will also increase. If the hauling capacity decreases, you are moving in the straight road, then the hauling capacity reduces, then the steeper gradients, right? So due to that, you are trying to reduce the cost, okay, by providing an easy gradient. During the war times, tunnels protect these systems from destruction due to the bombardment. What happens is, in the case of wars, these tunnels becomes a safety structure for us. If you are passing through the road and there are sudden bombardments, you get into the tunnels. If they do the bombardments of the bombs or there are war situations, that is a safest place. It works as a safest place to be hide. Okay, that will save you from the various warlike situations. Okay. Modern methods of constructions have eliminated the danger of settlement of overlaying grounds, providing the safety in the tunnel constructions. Right? When you are digging the or excavating the soil from the mountains to construct a tunnel, previously the technology that was used was not of higher levels, and not the various techniques were used to hold the above soil in its place, right? Due to what happens, if the soil was very weak, it would fall down due to the vacuum created in the below. There is no support for it, so it should fall down. Due to that, there was a danger while constructing. For nowadays, due to the advancement in the techniques and engineering processes, it is becomes very easy for the construction. Shapes of the tunnel. There are different shapes, as I said in the contents. There are different shapes, and different shapes are used for different purposes. Okay, so we'll try to understand which are the different shapes and for which purpose is which shape is used. there are, as I said, there are various cross sections of tunnels or various shapes of the tunnels, okay, which decides upon the purpose and the nature of soil that is available, okay, and what type of method you are going to use to construct the tunnels. There are various factors will affect the shape and size, okay. These are the one of the common factors that are mainly considered, okay. Okay, the following are the cross section tunnels commonly adopted. The first one is circular section, a circular shape section of tunnel. Second is elliptical shape. Third is egg shaped tunnels. Fourth is segmental roof section. Fifth one is the horseshoe section. And the sixth one is the rectangular section. The rectangular section is not in use. It is obsolete nowadays. Okay. The first one, circular section. A type of a section shape which is of circular in image or circular in section. You can see here, this part, the whole is circular in shape, right? The whole section is in circular shape, but to allow the passage, what we do the fill up here like this by concrete, and we'll provide the road or railway passage like this. Same way here it is been filled here like this, and then the routes are been laid. It is constructed in the highly unstable areas where the hence it is constructed on the grounds with a high unstable conditions such as soft clay, sand, and it is necessary to use circular sections only, okay, for carrying water and sewage under pressure. This circular section is used to carry water and sewage. Mainly it is used to carry water, okay. These tunnels are made for the best for resisting the external and internal pressure caused by the water bearing soils and the soft grounds. Wherever the soil is soft and contains water in it, in that cases we are going to provide for circular sections, and these circular sections are not for the road transport or the railway transport facilities. It is for the water passage or for the sewage passage to be passed from the one point to the another point, okay. So what you have to keep in mind is for which purpose this section is used. That is for the water and the sewage flow, okay, and this is used in the highly unstable soil, that is soft soil and water bearing soils, okay, and this is a perfect tunnel section for resisting the external and the internal loading facilities. Next is the elliptical, right? Elliptical shape, they are being used in the grounds for this softer than rocks. If the ground is softer than rocks, okay, this is used in order to have a better resistance to the external. In the case of circle, it was internal as well as external. In the case of elliptical shape sections, it is used when the soil is softer than the rock and it is resistance for the external pressures. The major axis of the tunnels of these tunnels are kept vertical, okay. The major axis is kept vertical in the case of tunnels, okay, and they are difficult to construct and they are not used for the traffic tunnels cause of their narrow base. Because of this narrow base, right, we can't go for the road transport or the railway transport facilities, right. Next is the egg shape. The shape of this tunnel is of egg shape here like this. Okay, this section have a narrow cross sections at the bottom, and they are best suited for sewage. Very important point. This egg shape is only used for to carry the sewage. Why? Because when the water content is less, with the minimum water content, it will provide you the self cleansing velocity. Means with the pressure of the water itself which it is having, with that it will clean the, it will pass. Okay, it doesn't require very high water flow. Okay, they maintain self cleansing velocity, okay, of the flow of sewage both in the dry and rainy season. This is very important. So only we go for specific shape for specific purposes, right? And this also resists the external, and internal pressures due to the circular walls. These are the circular shapes, so it will resist the external as well as the internal forces, and this is useful for carrying the sewage, because it will have a maintains its self cleansing velocity in the dry season, that is summer season, as well as in the rainy season. Okay, it is, the disadvantages are that it is very difficult to construct, and the lining that is going to be provided is again difficult to be constructed, because first of all it is narrower and it is smaller in section. So in that, providing the lining becomes very difficult, right? Next is the segmental or the D-shaped sections. If you can see here, this is a D shape here, right? A inverted D shape. This is a D, right? Just turning it like this into this shape. Okay, it is a segmental row. This is suitable for to carry the external loads and transfer it to the vertical side walls, right? And this section is suitable for hard rocks. The previous three, that is circular, elliptical and the X shaped, can be provided in the soft soils, but this D shaped or the segmental roof sections are only provided in case of hard soils. It can't be provided in the soft soils. Okay, in the case of soft soils, the side walls are constructed of RCC for taking up the external forces. These are easy to construct, and however these tunnels are completely have thick lining. If you can see here, the black color outer lining, this is called lining thickness, black color thickness, that is called lining done to provide a proper shape and to provide an impervious layer, so that there is no falling of soil or water percolating into the tunnels during the working conditions. Okay, when you are using it or during the service conditions, it should not, the stones or the rocks should not fall into the tunnels. For that purpose, as a protective layer, this lining is provided to provide shapes and protective layer. Okay, and the thing is, this can be provided in both the case of soft soils as well as in the hard soils. Okay, next is the horseshoe type. This form consists of semicircular roof. This consists of a semicircular roof together with the arch side. In the case of D, what it was, the top portion was curved, right, and the side portion was vertical like this. In this case, it is fully curved section. In this case, it is fully curved section like this, and curved inward. Okay, they are suitable in the soft rock grounds. So understand the difference. The D shape or the segmental shape is used in both the conditions, that is for the soft as well as the hard rocks. In the case of a horseshoe shape, this is only used for the soft clays. So only this becomes very useful shape, because if you want to provide a road or a railway line in the soft clays, we have to go for horseshoe shape sections only, because it is useful, it is suitable for the soft grounds only. Offers good resistance to the external ground pressures. This surface is going to apply the pressure here. This is going to apply the pressures here, right? So that is called external pressure. When the internal surface will provide the pressures, it is called as internal pressures, like this, right? And these are used for traffic tunnels, for road and railway routes, and they have enough flat bases to provide walking space during the constructions, and it can also have for the traffic tunnels. This is the most popular section in the all of this. The two are used for the traffic tunnels, that is segmental or the D shape and the horseshoe shape. This is used, that is the horseshoe is used for the soft one, and the segmental is used for both hard and soft ones. Okay. So this is all about these sections and the shapes of the tunnels. The further part will be delayed in the next lecture.